men alike. We have some guests in the studio who are here either to share their own personal experiences with vitiligo or vitiligo, some may pronounce it, and also their own experiences and also the experiences that they've had interacting with others. So I just want everyone to go around and introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, what you do. We'll start with this gentleman right here.
I'm Alfred Radido, also known as Tom. I come from South B Estate. I'm a banker.
Okay, welcome.
My name is Suki. I'm a makeup artist and also the founder of the Purple Love campaign, which is an initiative to, just create awareness for vitiligo.
I'm Julie Wanjiro, also known as Nasuju. I'm a model. I model for vitiligo.
I'm Wangwenja. I'm an MC from Niri.
Karibu sana to all of you. Now there's a lot of misconceptions, like I mentioned, about this disease. So, feel free to jump into this conversation at any point. I'm not going to direct questions to any particular person. But perhaps you can tell us a little bit about your experience with this. Is this something that happened to you at birth? Is it something that you discovered that you were affected with later on in life? I don't know who wants to begin.
As ladies first, I think Julie.
Okay, for me it started when I was 1.5 years, so I've grown with it. Yeah.
For me it started when I was 14 years. It started when I was 14, then it stopped. It came back when I was 18 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Mine started 7 years ago. That was 2009, and that was when I was just in college at that time. Yeah, so I've been with it for like 7 years now.
And like Joey said at the beginning, there are certain misconceptions. Of course, Julie lived with it, and you 14 on and off, and you 7 years ago. So what was it like? The misconceptions that people had towards you, and how you were able to deal with that as well.
Jump in.
One of the misconceptions people had about it is that it's a bad omen or a curse. And now I had to go for a little counseling to actually get over that. Yeah.
Okay, for me, most people, especially when I was a kid, when I was in primary, they used to say I was banned, that my mother banned me. Or sometimes they'll think I've applied something, just like that. Yeah, for kids, actually, it's really hard because they don't understand what it is. Yeah. So most of them will come touch you, trying to find out what happens to you. Yeah.
Actually, I'd support Julie. Recently, there was this kid, I went to visit my friend. Actually, the kid came and touched. He's like, it's not turning, I'm not getting it, like it's chocolate, you get
like
yeah,
color.
It's like color, like if they touch, they get it on their skin.
Yeah. Perhaps you can also speak about what it was like to be diagnosed. You were very young, so obviously you don't remember that experience.
I don't remember. My mom, actually, for her, it stigmatized her before it stigmatized me. Because for her, she would go to hospital day in, day out. Let's say my primary life, I spent most of my lunch times, my break, going to hospital, trying to get the ultraviolet radiation. At that time, I was very little to understand. So when I got to understand it, when I was in class 5, 6, there is when I kind of was feeling I'm tired of every day going to hospital. Yeah.
Alfred, what was your experience like getting diagnosed later on in life?
It was actually stressful, and I think at that time, some were even advised me not to continue with college because of the stigma that it had. Actually, most people thought maybe it was contagious. For example, they might. A friend will even not greet you, for example, maybe hug you, because he might or she will think maybe she's going to be affected with the same condition. So you become stressful in the first instance, and then you're broken between not knowing how to deal with the condition and living a normal life as well. So you're a bit confused at that point in time.
And maybe for Suki as well, you can tell us about how you got involved in this, and also about the Purple
Love campaign. So, before I met Julie, because I met Julie when we were shooting a music video for Sauti Sol, and that was my first time to come across and interact with someone who has vitiligo. So, but before I basically just thought it's, you know, burns or, you know. So it's been like 1 year, 1.5 years since we met, and we've been interacting, and we are really good friends. And you know, I just thought, man, what can I do as a makeup artist to let other people know about what I have gotten to know since I met her about vitiligo. So I thought maybe let me just, you know, come up with a concept, a creative concept of sort of a photo shoot or something. And then, you know, the Purple Love campaign has grown into what it is now because of friends who have just jumped in and given me ideas of how to go about it. And you know, we did a photo shoot, a very crazy photo shoot, and it was nice for Julie and Tom. And we shot a video, an awareness video for the campaign. And you know, we gave people with vitiligo a chance to talk about what it is, and what are the misconceptions on what they would want the public to know about vitiligo. So that's how I got involved, and I'm loving it, and I'm really happy with the reception. You know, I was aiming at 1,000 people getting to know about vitiligo, and you know, we've gone way over. Yeah, which is amazing.
Now, when it comes to this disease, I'm sure one of the first questions that people ask you is whether this is treatable. So maybe you can talk about, are there any options for treatment?
Actually, the options that are there for treatment are not actually a cure in essence, but they're just drugs that are there to manage the condition, to keep you moving. Actually, we have treatments to bring the skin color to normal, but then you experience some relapses along the way as well. So you are using the drugs all of your lifetime. So it's not actually a cure as such, but it's just something to manage the condition that you're having, so that you feel a bit comfortable, uplift your self-esteem sort of, maybe have hope that maybe the condition might go away for a while and live a normal life like somebody else, and then again, before it picks up, at least we shall have felt a bit comfortable at that point in time.
And so you mentioned something, you said it appeared and then relapsed. So when you say, so did it all clear, then it came back, or what was that?
When I was 14, it actually started on my eye hair.
Okay.
And on my back there were patches. We went to another doctor, he was called Dr. Amonda. He gave us a certain liquid that I used to apply, but that liquid actually gave me blisters, so I stopped applying it.
Okay.
When I turned 18 years, I went to, there was a machine in Kenyatta for phototherapy, so I used to go to it. But at one point, the machine killed all my white blood cells. Not all, okay, 3/4 of it. So I had to stop the treatment. After I stopped, now it relapsed. That's when it fully came to my body.
So that's what happened at that point. And also for Julie, you know, Suki mentioned that there are, you know, misconceptions and there are things that you'd like the public to know about vitiligo. What would you like the public to know about it?
One, it's not contagious, and someone can live a full life with it. You can go places, so long as the main thing is about vitiligo. The best thing you can do when you get vitiligo is accept yourself. For me, I had a challenge. It's normally a very big challenge. The minute you don't accept yourself, it tends to spread. It goes worse. You become white. But the minute you start accepting it, that you have it kind of comes back by itself. It does not like stress. It doesn't like you when you're stressed up. So when you're stressed up, it tends to spread. Don't think about it. Just accept it. And slowly your color will come back. For me, it has. In 2013, I was fully white. So far, to me, it's a progress.
Very interesting. Now, I don't know if this is just my understanding, but you guys being in the modeling world, we've seen more and more models, especially internationally, being represented who have vitiligo and are out there and are thriving. Does that give you hope for you know, your career and you know, where your life is headed, because I'm seeing a lot of more acceptance, particularly in the world of fashion and modeling.
Yeah, for me, since I was young, when I finished just high school, I wanted to do fashion and design, but due to some issues, I wasn't able to do. But so I took it up as a challenge to me, because wanting to do fashion and modeling with this condition was hard. But the minute I read about it, I saw people are coming out with it, I started accepting myself, and I decided, why shouldn't I do this once and for all and go with the flow?
Yeah.
And so far, so good.
Yeah. I think it's important to have that representation and for people to hear your stories, so they're able to also come out and feel comfortable. Ongo, you are an MCA, so you're in a position to be able to represent other people with this condition, speak out about it, create awareness. What has your experience been like so far?
My experience, I've done awareness in Nyeri, and my experience there is people are not aware of what vitiligo is. So I've been taking sunscreen. The government has provided sunscreen for us, and taking to the village, because you see people in Mashinani don't know what vitiligo is. You see, I have circumstances and scenarios where in Nyeri you find someone is locked up in the house. So it's out there. The perception of people is that it's a bad omen. So trying to reach out. At one point, I went to visit a family where the mom said you can't see her. You see, out there they need awareness of what vitiligo is. I do my part, give sunscreen, but as long as there's no awareness, there's nowhere we'll go as a society for people with vitiligo. Yeah.
All right, and also just looking at what people are saying. We have Ariba Silas, this is on Twitter, who is saying beauty can be defined as BU, no need for fake hair, bleaching, no plastic outlook. And then someone is also asking, which is a question I was going to ask Suki as well, for maybe there are other people who are out there with vitiligo and they would like to join the foundation, or you know, reach out to you. How can they do that?
First of all, they can come to, we have an event tomorrow. We have an exhibition of the pictures we took, amazing pictures. It will be at Power 254 from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're going to have a forum to talk about vitiligo and, you know, the misconceptions, and mostly talk about how people with vitiligo are living positively and chasing their dreams. I wasn't looking for a Oye kind of story and feel sorry for these guys. These guys are amazing, you know, and they're achieving their dreams and they're living a full life. So they can come to the event tomorrow and we're going to have a good time. Yeah, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Power 254, which is on State House Crescent. Yeah.
Talking about just the day-to-day experiences that you have, I've seen people with this condition who kind of cover it up, use makeup, you know, and kind of get rid of all the white spots. So I don't know, have any of you use makeup in that sense? And you as a makeup artist, have you worked with people or models who are you know, sort of covering up the white spots?
Well, I've worked with you know, people who are insecure about, you know, some of their features, and exactly what I did with the photo shoot was to show the beautiful and the beauty side of someone who has vitiligo. So we didn't cover anything. We just added on color. We actually just we used purple to artistically just to show how beautiful these guys are. So so many people are covering, you know, and we have so many people with vitiligo who are applying foundation, even men. But I would understand somehow, because it's not easy, you know, even for these guys here to be on national TV and to walk on the street.
I think I'd say for the people who cover up, it depends with your career. You see, if let's say I'm a lecturer in a university, of course most people will make fun of you, or you're a school, you teach in a school, you know, kids, most of them actually run, I'll be very clear, run away when they see us. So you see, you have to put makeup on so that you can vote. It depends with your career actually, and your acceptance.
That's a personal decision.
And to add on that, I think, you know, when we were doing this, we were preparing for this project, I just thought maybe let me spend a day with you know, someone who has vitiligo and see how it feels like. And, you know, I spent a day with Julie, I spent a day with, there's a lady called Lorna, I spent a day with Tom. And it's quite interesting to see how people stare at someone just because they have vitiligo, because they don't understand what it is, you know. So, I would imagine for someone who has vitiligo, you know, just getting stares all day and getting people who are not ready to shake your hand or eat with you, you know, there are so many things that would lead someone into covering the condition because of how the public treats them. Yeah.
So maybe you can talk about how you came to that place of acceptance, because Julie talked about, you know, you have to accept that this is what it is, and, you know, not to fight the disease for you to be able to live a more healthy life. So what was your journey like?
I think after the diagnosis in 2009, I was explained by a doctor what actually the condition is. And then he told me that the treatment that he's giving me are not treatment that are going to cure the condition itself, but it's just going to bring the color to normal. I'm going to get my pigmentation back, bit by bit, that is. So I had to accept the situation as it was, because actually there is no short-term solution to the condition itself. Even the color takes time for it to go. And sometimes along the way when you use the drugs, you're using it, there are patches that go, patches again come back, there are other patches that actually come back again. So I had to accept myself the way I am. And I just had to go outside there and let people know what really this condition is all about. That's the time I started an awareness campaign within college, trying to sensitize people on what this condition is all about. Let them know that it's not actually contagious. You can interact with these people normally. They have the same abilities like any other person, in as much as we also have other medical situations that we go through that are actually difficult for persons with vitiligo. We share the same kind of side effects with people who have albino. Like we have sunburns that we experience most of the time. Even the drugs that we use, some of them are actually sensitive to light. Yeah, so that's why some of us have also, maybe you could find somebody with a veil covering the, not really because she or he does want to show, but because of the sun rays, to protect himself or herself from the sun rays. You'll have some of us with hats to protect ourselves, but then it's more important for people to understand what the condition is, rather than see these people as if they're hiding something. Yeah.
And do you, as an MCA, and maybe also the rest of you guys, do you feel like the government is doing enough? Is there support? Can more be done? Or is also the government in a place where they don't really understand what's going on? What do you think is your position on the situation?
The government has done a little part of it. Okay. That is by providing sunscreen. But you see, you're providing sunscreen and you're not doing awareness. You see, in Nyeri now they bring sunscreen. When I go to pick, the doctor who gives out the sunscreen actually told me these are expired, like 10 boxes of sunscreen, because there's no awareness. People don't know there's sunscreen in county hospitals to go and pick and apply. For me, I do it myself. I'll go to Kiambu County, ask who's living with vitiligo, I take for them sunscreen. This is because most of them come from not middle class level where they cannot afford to buy sunscreen. So it's my duty and Julie and Tom's duty to go out there, ask who is living with vitiligo. If it's Nairobi, it's provided at Mbagathi and Mama Lucy hospitals. We go pick for them and take them there. The government has done the bit of giving out sunscreen, but it hasn't done the bit of awareness. Because you can't give me sunscreen, yet you've not made people aware of what vitiligo is. Yeah.
I'm curious to hear, you know, how important the family support is when it comes to this, because I'm not sure whether this is a genetic condition or not, but maybe you can speak a bit about how your families reacted, especially with you being re-diagnosed and, you know, sort of your journey until here. How have your families reacted and supported you throughout this journey?
They've been supportive, especially my mom. When I first got it, when I was a teenager, you see, that's like it's like that point in your life where you really want to go out there, make a difference. But you see, when you have vitiligo, it actually restricts you. Back then when I was 18, I actually used to put because it hadn't spread like fully like the way it is now, I'd put gloves and scarves so that I can walk in town to avoid ridicule. There are moments where my mom was told, you have to go to Mount Kenya, slaughter a goat, because I don't know who didn't pay dowry, so that your skin can come back. But my mom, since we are Christians, of course, my mom said no. The journey it's been hard for my family, of course, because, they wonder, why this, why, you see. But they've been supportive. They've been supportive. And most of all, we've been praying as a family. I think prayer is the answer to everything, yeah. And acceptance as a family. They accept you for who you are. Because if they don't accept you, you'll get to your breaking point. Yeah.
For me, the family had to accept at some point in time. Actually, when I got it, there was that rush to have a cure. I rushed to actually several hospitals before we finally landed to a dermatologist. At that time, we had spent a lot of money because we are seeing like this condition is not going. It's even worsening, because at that time, almost all of my face, 3/4 of the face, was actually white, purely white. So we were actually at a rush to find the drugs that will cure the condition. But later on, when we realized that it's not a condition that you'll have to rush to find cure and treatment and everything, but will let you manage it, or at least something that can make you comfortable, even the cover-up as well. We had to accept it. The family ended up accepting the condition as it is. Because actually they were not able to link it to anyone within the family. I was actually the only one with the condition. So they ended up accepting the situation. I'd also let them know what it really is, as explained by the doctor itself. So once they'd already learnt about it, the journey now has been smooth with the family. They know what I'm suffering from, and they know the condition that I have. They know what actually situations that will let me not look comfortable, for example. So, but in the long run, I've just ended up accepting myself as an individual and let them know that I'm comfortable the way I am.
Okay. Right. For me, it was kind of very hard, let me just say, since when I was a little baby, that time I was small. For my mom, for her it was kind of a blow, but she came to accept it later on. So for me, I can't say that my other relatives were comfortable with it. They came to accept it later. They were always asking my mom, what did you do? How come she's different from the rest of her siblings? How come she's the only one in the whole family who has it? So my mom has been very supportive with it. Throughout the journey, she used to, at night, she'll come and pray with me. She'll come talk to me, tell me I'm beautiful. You're even beautiful than the others in school. So don't feel like you're odd. You should just learn to accept yourself. She's the one who started encouraging me. For me, it was really tough for me, especially because since in school, I was being the prank of the school. Every time something funny just comes up, it goes to Julie, it goes to Julie. Oh. So I grew up that way, and for me, it was really tough. So when you go home, you're always feeling isolated. You always feel alone. But the good thing, my mom used to at least be there for me once in a while when she's at home, because most of the time she was working. So, and for my father, I can't talk about it, but all I know is that somehow I feel it goes to the third generation of the family. Or when the family, in your family, people have diabetes, arthritis, there's somehow someone has to have vitiligo. According
there's
to the
some
research,
genetic correlation there.
Yeah, according to the research I've been doing, because most of the people you find in that family are people who have diabetes, arthritis, and what. So there's one person who has vitiligo. So I think it's kind of genetic.
Okay.
And another challenge is that actually the research is there, but within the developing countries, the research actually is not actually there. It's not well advanced, and the ones that are there actually are not known as such as well. But then basically what is there is that even doctors are struggling to get actually the condition, the cause of the condition itself. The cause is actually not known within the medical fraternity, And doing a sensitization like this, or an awareness campaign like this, will help these doctors to like initiate some research on this condition, because actually those who claim it is hereditary, there are those who claim it isn't hereditary.
Yeah, in the research I was doing, it's like some people say it might be genetic, it might not. It's an autoimmune disease, maybe it's not. It's, you know, the research really doesn't tell you specifics.
Actually, to support Julie, there's a doctor I went to see, and he said apparently, like in our family, there's no one who has it. From the third to where I am right now, there's no one who has it. So he told me there's someone who has it, but it's a recessive gene. It's not being seen. Yeah.
Right, interesting. So there's just a shout out here that somebody has said, lazima anaitwa Mallard Angel. That is my brother Tom. Thank God for creating awareness on this day. Stay blessed. You did it twice. I had to read it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Suki, maybe just as we wind up here, you can talk, because there are a lot of people watching who are not familiar with this, and so, you know, you're coming in sort of as an outsider into their world. What have you learned from working with them, and what can you share with other Kenyans who are watching, who want to better understand this disease?
Well, all I can say is that, you know, we as human beings have a greater purpose, you know. There's something that we can do to make this world at least a bit better, you know, than we found it. And we have to accept there are some people in the society who are not the same as we are, and that doesn't mean that they, you know, they should be seen as any less, you know. So I'm hoping that, you know, this campaign, and I'm just hoping in the years to come, and if there's gonna be a generation of people with vitiligo, they'll not go through what Julie, Tom, and Wangui have gone through, you know. People will know what vitiligo is. They'll accept them, they'll love them, they'll see them as normal people with normal abilities, you know. Yeah.
Interesting. Of course, hopefully, you know, you guys coming out has helped a lot of people. Like you said, a lot of misconceptions, family, parents, all these people. So hopefully you are watching and you have been able to learn a few things and to see that you can do anything. Unaweza kuwa MC, sasa endo kwa MP.
Just to finish up, we are having different projects as Vitiligo Society of Kenya. We want to go county to county, just creating awareness on what vitiligo is. That you don't have to lock your kids in the house, and you don't have to take it as a bad omen. And we would really want to thank Suki. Suki has really done a great job. Really, he's created awareness out there. Everybody is telling me, hey, he's done really good, because no one has ever come out to say they're supporting people with vitiligo. So for him, we are taking him as a champion. It's a really good thing. And we are also, myself and Julian Tom, we want to come up with an advocacy center. You see, in this year, I've been called twice because of people who have vitiligo who've committed suicide. You see, we need an advocacy center where people can go for counseling and where people can just feel at home.
And I think sensitization like this will also make a distinction between persons living with vitiligo and persons who have albino. There's a confusion. Actually, there's some of us who are looking like albino. They are all white. Some of us are all pink as well. So people will now get to know the distinction between these two different types of people.
All right, Julie, do you have any final thoughts?
Okay, for the advocacy center, it would be really nice, because getting a job is the biggest challenge we have. When you go, you want to work maybe in a hotel. You know, getting a job in a hotel is the biggest problem you can ever, because everyone is afraid when you touch the food, you give them, you can't work as a chef, you can't work as a waiter, they're always afraid. You try and get, there's once I asked a job in a supermarket in Parklands, and to me it was the biggest shock to be told I'll scare away the customers. So to me it was the biggest shock I ever got in my life. So I was asking, how am I going to infect people, and things are in packets? So to me, I feel the advocacy center will be able to help people with vitiligo to be able to get jobs.
And also for the event, you know, people should come and support the event tomorrow.
Wait, so it's
Give us the
are there
details.
tickets?
Yeah.
You want any more details? Where can guys get information? What's happening? What's happening?
The event is at Power 254 on State House Crescent. Starts from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're going to have an exhibition of the pictures we took of Julie and Tom, and an awareness campaign video that we also shot, and a forum to talk about vitiligo and to talk about creative freedom and creative boundaries, and a cocktail kind of party. It's kind of a very chilled out environment, you know, and it's a happy kind of event. So guys should come.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's 300. Sorry, 300. The entrance fee is 300. And all the proceeds will go to buying sunscreen for people with vitiligo. Yeah. So the more people come, the more sunscreen we get to give to people with vitiligo. So guys, please come.
All right, cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for your involvement, Suki. Thank you, Wangui, Julie, and Tom, for being here, for shedding some misconceptions and sharing your experiences with vitiligo as well. This is Power Breakfast on Citizen TV. That's the hashtag to use. Of course, we are going to wind up the show with a little bit of music, but we just want to say thank you for watching on behalf of Fred Indimuli, myself, Joey Mutengi.
Yes, and I'm Will Saburu, reminding you as always that despite Arsenal's win yesterday, successful people still look like you and Manchester United.
All right. All right.
Yes, sir.